Hello, Scoobies. I hope you're all doing fantastically fabulous. It's been months, it's been years, it's been decades. Look, you're like, what is all of this? What is happening on your altar? I don't have answers for you. I don't. I don't. I don't have the answers. But I do have a mortar and pestle. And we don't need that. You're like, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing, girl. I see you. But I do have all of these, and they're starting to collect dust. This is very dusty. Anyways, we're going to put that over there. You're like, why is shit collecting dust? Because it is. It just does, okay? Sometimes shit just collects dust. How have you all been doing? I hope you're doing fantastically fabulous. It has been a busy few months for me, but we're not here to talk about that. No one cares about that. What we're here to talk about is, what is the purpose of witchcraft? Why are people practicing it? What's the allure? What's the reason? And while we talk about that, I'm gonna make a fucking oil, okay? Don't ask no questions. Just accept it. But anyways, what is witchcraft? No, we already know what it is. No one cares what witchcraft is. If you want to know what witchcraft is, go find Lunar Wisdom's channel, because chances are she's explained what witchcraft is to her. And that's the important part. Witchcraft is different to everybody. Okay? It's different. The practice is different. The way we practice is different. Right? I've told you this 1,000 times before. Don't be stupid. Don't be ignoring me. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing here. You're like, get that out of our faces. But I'm making this thing. I'm really hoping you can see shit. I am trying to position shit. You're like, maybe you should remove some of this clutter. You would think so. I'm not going to. What I can tell you, though, is that much like everybody else's practice, like I said, it's all different, right? Some people take their craft so seriously, you'd think they're Christian instead of a witch. And what I mean by that is that their deity that they work with is like God to them, okay? And some people don't take the craft seriously at all. They come in for a few months, they see how cool it is on YouTube, so they purchase a bunch of supplies, and then they don't do anything with it. I'm not saying they're fake. I'm just saying that some people just lose interest in the craft. Look how adorable this is. It's like a little rose that has an open. We're gonna put that in there. Ooh. You're like, what is this? Don't ask questions, tubies. Anywho. Get in there. Right, so like, your craft and what you believe in and the types of entities you work with, obviously it's different than mine, right? Like, we've talked about that so many times in the past, it's nauseating. However, you know, we should put some of this in there. How do I get a little bit of this out? You're like, this is not going to go well. Oh, actually, that will work. You're like, nothing went in there. Actually, it did. Don't fuck with me. Okay? Don't fuck with me. I'm queen. So, right, and we were talking about, like, how some people, like, take their craft super, super seriously, and how some people are a little more lax, and how some people don't really have a practice, but they still consider themselves a witch, and they talk the talk, right, about like nature and balancing your energies and so on and so forth, and they may not have an altar at home. It's perfectly fine to be a witch who doesn't have an altar. I saw this thing on TikTok the other day where this lady was like, if you don't have an altar, if you don't have a proper, yeah, she said proper, a properly set up altar following, I don't know, probably some book that she was reading about or something, then how are you even practicing witchcraft? Because at the end of the day, and no, it doesn't. It doesn't come down to your altar. It doesn't come down to the tools or the herbs or the candles or the blah, blah, blahs. It comes down to why are you involved in the craft? Look how pretty. What is the reason that you decided to pick up a witchcraft book? Or to pick up whatever it is that got you into the craft. Whatever that reason is the reason why you practice witchcraft. There's probably a deeper reasoning under it all, right? We've all got those surface levels. Well, I practice witchcraft because blah, 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 blah. But deep down inside, there's a different reason. Power. I've noticed that witchcraft tends to attract people who, in their life at some point, have lost their power. And witchcraft is a way for those individuals to get their power back in some shape or form, to have control over a situation or situations that they otherwise would not have control over. Oh, this is a fucking pretty oil. Look at that, everybody. I made a pretty oil. You're like, why are you making pretty oils on YouTube? You know, this is kind of pretty. It's probably going to change colors. Because there's marigolds and bloodroot in here. But this is a really, really pretty oil. Okay? Now, I have to go away. But I'll be right back. Like within 30 seconds. Because we need to do shit to this oil. Where can I put this? Can I put it here? You're like, don't move the camera. Shut up. Okay, just shut up. I'll move the camera if I want to. Do I have a cauldron? You're like, you have many cauldrons. You're right, I do. Thanks for paying attention. You know what? That's good enough. Aha. Oh, don't get all gross on the bottom, but like, whatever. Right? Can we, like, whatever's in the bottom of this, I just need this to sit flat. There we go. You're like, you're gonna put I'm gonna put a candle on top of this. Anywho. So, what is the purpose of witchcraft? Why do we practice witchcraft? Well, you have to ask the individual witches themselves. We all have our reasons of why we started, and we all practice differently. And just because one person has fancier tools than the other, as we've already stated, that doesn't make you better or less than. In that case, it doesn't make you better if you have the tools, and doesn't make you less than if you don't have the tools. Because we don't always, like, we don't need half this crap. Like, all that's on my altar is basically candles everywhere. Candles everywhere. Few jars, few herbs, mostly candles everywhere. Anywho, I hope you got something out of this video, and in the next one, I don't know what we'll talk about. We'll probably just ramble again while I prepare a candle for this beautiful, glorious oil. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's beautiful. It's kind of gorgeous. Okay? Love your faces.